Bye!
We've grown out, we've pity bomb.
Devoid.
We've grown out, we've pity bomb.
Depot. Devoid.
All right. Well, I guess I can say before we even say the name of the show, I think right off the top, what we need to say is Ba Weep Grogna Weep Ninny Bong, Ted.
Oh, wheat grown, oh, wheat, Nevon?
This is Depot Devoid. And I am Matt Fagan. And with me here is my brother.
Ted Fagan.
What was your name again?
Steven.
Okay, I'll go with that. I can't prove otherwise.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Dave.
There's a name right there underneath your face on my screen.
Motherfucker, the internet got me again. I've been boned.
Would you like to tag Clark Kent?
I am Ted Theodore Logan.
Close enough. This is Depot Devoid, and we are here to ruin the Transformers. And the way we're going to do that ultimately is to figure out how to make the worst possible live action Transformers movie that puts even Michael Bay's efforts to shame.
Because they fucked it so hard already. Let's fuck it deeper.
We can, gentlemen, we can destroy it. So last time we looked at the beginning of the original Transformers cartoon, where it all began, to talk about what the Transformers is and always has been and must shall be forevermore. And now we are reconvening to look in at the next most important milepost in the Transformers timeline, which is 1986's Transformers, the movie.
This is the real Transformers movie. This is unfortunate because now what we're doing is we're trying to deconstruct and refuck what was actually great. This movie was beautiful.
I will go with beautiful. As a Transformers movie, I had maybe some concerns about it. I didn't take a whole lot of notes. It was interesting going into this because I have not actually sat down and watched this for many, many years. And while I have been watching Transformers, I was not up to where this movie happens in the show. So I don't really know like where we left off when this movie happens. So when suddenly it was the year 2005, I was
I'm sorry. The year is 2005.
Yes, the year is 2000. You know, when it comes to voices, like I gotta say, Lionel Stander, the guy who I was talking about from the old show Heart to Heart with Robert Wagner, he is a voice in this movie, and I was very happy. He is the voice of Cup with a K, and his voice is not quite as pronounced in its graveliness in this movie as it was on Heart to Heart, but I was still really glad to hear it.
Hey kid, you gotta go on.
His part was in fact pretty substantial.
His part was necessary.
But I when it suddenly is 2005, and I was like, wait, did that happen on the show? Like, what? Where are we? What did I miss? Turns out,
no. This reminds me of that time that you didn't understand that it was 20 years in the future, Pat. You weren't quite there yet. Realistically, if you really want to understand what's going on here, we're just.
I understood that it was 20 years in the future.
No,
I just
you don't.
didn't know if it was also 20 years in the future yesterday.
You don't fucking get it. It's the year is 2043.
But the year was like 1986, like 10 minutes ago.
I'm pretty sure you got something wrong in your rotator.
Yeah, I'm always making puns about my meatiness. So there's a big fucking time jump right at the beginning of this movie. And here is where things start to go wrong at the beginning of this movie. This is honestly, Michael Bay could learn some things from Transformers the movie about how not to make a Transformers movie.
Oh no,
And-
I mean they fucked it really good.
And one thing you do is immediately make it nothing like the thing that your fans love. And
Yeah,
that's what they did. We're not on Earth. We have a lot of new Transformers right from the get-go. Our main human character is not only all grown up, but totally absent and has a kid, I guess. Were you excited by that when you were in the theater as a
Matt, his kid didn't even sound like a sprocket. It was a Daniel.
Yeah, hey, why didn't he get a family name?
It was embarrassing. But hey,
do you remember your experience of watching this for the first time with any clarity?
I believe that this is the first movie that I ever saw in a theater.
That is entirely possible.
Yeah, I am fairly confident that that is the reality of the matter. Today, watching this movie, I always well up at 2 points in this film. But today I cried a little bit more than I normally would because I wondered whether or not our brother Ian actually had such a strong connection with this movie as I do.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and I never will. But it was interesting to me to be like, damn, this is the first time that I'm watching this in over a year. And it's been interesting to me because this movie was such a big tear away from what was the Transformers, because it did not continue on the path that it had before, which I never thought after this movie was good. I thought that it went wrong after this movie.
I expect that is true. I haven't gotten there yet, but I have dim sort of flash memories of episodes that occurred afterwards that seemed as chaotic as the movie did.
Yeah. It was
they're trying to sell new toys is the actual answer, obviously. They are trying to get rid of the old G1 Transformers so that they can sell new stuff. But there is an attempt here to like enrich the backstory and expand the world, and that is not necessarily a cynical or wrong-headed thing to do. I don't really connect with the way they went about it at all.
There was a story that they were trying to tell that they didn't hit, I think. I think that what they were trying to do was having a come-of-age story. But it wasn't for the human kid. It wasn't for the human kid at all. It was for Hot Rod.
Right, but the problem there is Hot Rod was introduced in this movie.
That is the problem.
So we don't fucking
give a shit
about Hot Rod or Danny or the Matrix of Leadership, for that matter, which is the whole MacGuffin of Transformers the movie, which was also first introduced in Transformers the movie. Yeah. Like that is this is exactly some Michael Bay type bullshit, which is to hang all of the important emotional points on something that you don't already care about and ignore shit that is built in that we do already care about. And that is maybe evidence that he actually watched the movie.
I disagree that he watched the movie. What I'm going to say is I believe that I love this movie only because I saw it when I was 4 or 5 years old.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure that that is the case for
Everything,
so many people.
yeah, everything else about it was poorly done. It neglected the beauty that could have been out there. There wasn't really a lot of beauty that could have been out there. Let's not lie to ourselves. This movie is based on a series that is literally about giant fucking robots, and that's all we got. All we
And
got.
and that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Um, but they this was not the way to do it. Um,
We
it's
can fuck this thing hard.
it's really interesting that, and this is another great way that they mess this up, is by not only making us focus almost exclusively on new characters to the great disadvantage of the story and the old characters, but then also take us so far away from Earth that all of the stakes feel like they're not affecting us anyway. So the whole thing, it's a huge movie. It's got a massive scope. It's epic. It's ridiculously ambitious.
Oh, and the
And
cast. You
and
can't
there's
possibly
no,
expect to have a cast so
oh yeah,
thick and
the
beautiful.
cast is fucking like whatever. How did you even do that?
You'd never be able to do that
And
today.
it's got this like power ballad soundtrack that also has Weird Al on it, which is obviously the best part of any movie. Like, how, like, first of all, how is this movie so good? And also, why is it so terrible? It's a really weird line to walk, but it is definitely both of those things, often at the same time. Some of the animation is amazing. Some of it is really beautiful. Like there's some gorgeous camera moves. Like there's shit that they never tried on TV. And then there's just like some really like fuck you character designs that it's like, this is clearly like, this is your cocktail napkin doodle, and like, oh, I guess it's a, yeah, that's a sharkicon, totally, yeah, that's what it is.
The one thing that I really was impressed and disappointed by is I know that oh god damn it, Leonard Nimoy
Mhm.
did the voice acting for Orson
Galvatron.
Welles. Orson Welles died during the recording.
Oh, and didn't Leonard Nimoy finish the
And
Unicron?
yeah, but they didn't credit Leonard Nimoy for it.
Huh.
And
Well, I mean, he was credited for Galvatron.
well, I mean, he was Galvatron, but
Is there, I mean, did he do a, I mean, how do we know how much of Unicron he did?
ah, fuck, I don't care.
Well, I mean, there's probably like, I can almost assure you that there is an actual legal percentage that someone has to do like by line to receive credit or to require credit.
that's probably true.
I'm sure that's the thing, because that's the way it went with like directing Superman 2, because like they fired Richard Donner because Superman and Superman 2 are directed at the same time. And then he had kind of a feud with the producers. They fired Richard Donner before Superman 2 was completed, and they wanted to fuck him out of credit. So they hired, I think, Richard Lester to finish the movie. And they had to, like, he literally had to have directed a certain percentage of the movie in order to keep Richard Donner from receiving any credit. So they had him finish the movie and then also redirect enough of the sequences that they could legally drop Richard Donner from the movie. And I'm sure that percentages apply to every kind of performance or job in the industry like that.
And now going down a rabbit hole of entertainment in my eyes, I love when you have a character who has absolutely no lines in a television show or a movie, specifically because I appreciate the part where if they don't speak, they don't get paid much
exactly.
or at all. And
yeah.
so you got an actor who's like, I'm so quiet, no words. It's cute. It's really entertaining. And they're spooky in the bad, scary movies that they're in or TV shows. But a large part of the reason why they're not making any vocalization is if they say a fucking word, they have to get paid.
Yep, that's a whole other thing for speaking parts, no
Yep.
matter what the speaking is.
They could just say douchebag, and magically they get $5,000.
That's how it works in Return of the Killer Tomatoes.
Oh, yes. Have we made enough money to finish this puppy?
Pepsi presents Return of the Killer Tomatoes.
God, I haven't seen that movie in so long.
It's almost perfect. I recommend the Diet Celery Juice Cooler.
Fucking love that movie.
So anyway, Transformers the movie, it is beloved, and I can see why. But since this, I didn't like connect with it in the moment in 1986. So coming at it as an adult, it is interesting to watch, but it is not a satisfying Transformers movie to me at all. It is absolutely 100% better than the one that we have to watch next. But
yeah, I'm really pissed off, honestly. While I've got the moment here, I'm really mad that you chose to do this. You did this to me. This
I'll tell you,
this is a beautiful moment of my childhood that I shared with my children. That you're bringing out to be like, analyze me.
Well, and now you can make your son watch the Michael Bay movie just to remind him that he doesn't want to live with you forever.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Matt, that's like being like, now I'm gonna just like piss oil on the child and say, get out of my house.
That's just like putting his shit on the sidewalk. He walks in, you're watching Michael Bay, he's like, I understand.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna try and paint the nicest bit to start it out here. I don't fucking give a shit if you like butt rock. I do not care. This movie has one of the best soundtracks ever. It's great. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Get beyond that and then get bent and realize that John Bender is the star of the show. It's fucking John Bender.
I had completely forgotten that.
You forgot Judd Nelson?
And I had.
You can't forget Judd Nelson.
I only watch, like, I only really remembered Transformers before the movie.
Dad putting the cigars out on his arm, dude. It's Judd Nelson.
My go-to Judd Nelson movie is The Dark Backward. And
I don't know what that is.
um, huh. I Judd Nelson and Bill Paxton are the main guys. How to explain it? Um, Judd Nelson and Bill Paxton are roommates slash garbage men, but Judd Nelson dreams of being a stand-up comic in a world that is, it doesn't seem post-apocalyptic, but good God, like might as well be. And so he tries to perform as a comic and he's terrible at it. And then he, he grows a full-sized functioning adult arm out of the middle of his back, and then he becomes a very successful comedian.
Okay, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to talk about that at all until we watch that movie. Anyway, dance! Keep all your dreams alive. Let's watch this bad movie together. They go fishing. They extract a fish. Daniel's sad that his dad's not there. All the stuff that happened on Cybertron was useless. None of this movie mattered at all until we get to Lookout Mountain.
It was really exciting. Like a lot of exciting things happened. And then some other stuff happened. But yeah, I just didn't really care about what was going on. Like, I wanted to watch Transformers doing Transformer stuff. But we didn't really. The big Prime Megatron battle was actually pretty cool.
All right, so actually, before we get to that, I totally jumped the gun. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. This show has been going on for years, and they're all shooting like fucking stormtroopers either side of the battle. Nobody can hit anybody. And then in seconds, we kill 4 Autobots.
Yeah, just like right out of the sky.
Yeah, just like right off the top. We kill 4 of them. It's like, holy shit, they can die. We can actually make contact with somebody. Can shoot somebody. Oh damn, that was like it was absolutely shocking. And then when we get to the fucking, I should probably tone down my fucking.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe fuck them all. We do finally get Optimus Prime does show up, and we do have the one shall stand, one shall fall.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
That immediately made me think, what if every single line of dialogue in this movie was just like a trailer line? That would have been awesome.
I just loved that Starscream shot himself in the foot.
That was hilarious.
He literally shot himself in the foot.
I loved that. I always loved Starscream. Starscream is amazing. The fact that Starscream died is the saddest part of this movie.
The
worst part is Starscream died. The best part is Weird Al has a song in it.
Yeah, those were really good. But yeah, no matter the cost.
Why does Weird Al have a song in this? What does it have to do with anything?
It was just the time, Matt.
I mean, it's wonderful that it's there, but it does not fit in with the rest of the soundtrack, and it is not significant to the scene that it appears in.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. Everything else, the other tie-ins, the voices. I think we
need to do that for our version of Transformers for sure. We need to.
I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Near, far, wherever you are. Titanic, this bitch.
So I think the important thing is to craft a tonally perfect soundtrack like the butt rock of this, and then have one just standout song that has nothing to do with it, that is heavily featured in an
And
unrelated scene.
you're here in my heart, and my heart will go on
I
and on.
I yeah, well, but I want to watch our movie at some point, and I can't watch it if that's happening.
Well, maybe you can't make an omelet without
Can we
breaking a.
have can we have a transformer doing a karaoke version of Walk Like an Egyptian?
Maybe.
Can it can it be in Soundwave's voice?
No, Soundwave wouldn't do it, but he might command one of his tapes to.
Laserbeak, eject, operation,
Walk
karaoke.
like an Egyptian. Yes, that could work.
Operation Egyptian.
That actually might be the first intelligent thing that we've come to with this bullshit. Laserbeak.
Well, at least I'm amused.
Eject. Operation Walk Like an Egyptian. Boom. Yeah, no, I think that works.
All right, we'll write that one down. Let's go in the script.
Oh, where's my pen?
For Transformers, fuck the fans.
All right.
Yeah, so that is the point of the movie. Like, that's the part that I sort of stopped connecting to it after the stuff with Prime and Megatron. That's the good stuff right there. And then it just like goes off into fucking lunacy, which is sort of like, it's fun, and it's got some like crazy sci-fi shit. And like I said, some of the animation is really cool. Some of it isn't, but some of it is really cool. And I'm sure that like for kids in theaters in 1986, like this is a real anime style adventure in space with robots that's got to be pretty much unlike anything that a mainstream American audience was getting visually. Like that's a real, that kudos to it for that. Unfortunately, it was mostly a wasted opportunity in terms of product, I think.
Yeah, they failed. But I mean,
And matrix of leadership.
yeah, they didn't need to add that. It could have been the
I mean, yeah,
it could have been the Autobot Matrix.
The whole thing is just it's just all a bit silly, you know. And boy, how do they commit to it. And it's an interesting choice. It's definitely not more of the same, so I get maybe that's a good thing. But yeah, it does not really resemble the show that brought the fans here. And I would be hard pressed to think that people were really thrilled with the way things changed after this. I assume that the rest of the series was set in the future, right? Like, did they ever fill in those gaps that 20-year space of stories? I'm sure that they must have said something about it.
It's been so long, I haven't watched any.
Does Danny have a mother?
No, he was just a random jizz baby.
He just left it laying around somewhere.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Tell my son Daniel. Which other kid? But literally, when he comes up, tell my son Daniel, rather than Stephen, James,
Maybe they're just reminding us because
Taco.
maybe we've already forgotten
We don't
as
know
an
how many.
audience.
I mean, Spike might have been a prolific lover. I mean, he might have been all out there.
I mean, I'm sure he traded on his probably somewhat well-known relationship with the Autobots to score chicks here and like, hey, I know Optimus Prime, right? You know that, right? I could introduce you.
You want to meet Ironside? Check out what's inside here.
You want to go fuck me inside my friend?
Ew. Let's go parked up in this dark alley.
Like climbing into Bumblebee's back seat.
Jazz won't care. Jazz. Jizz. We get dark.
Don't talk that way about Scatman Crothers.
Oh, brothers.
The old janitor from The Shining.
It's a
The
thing.
Shinin.
The Shinin?
The Shinin.
Sued.
So this movie has a version of Galactus, obviously from Marvel Comics, that is a planet and also a transformer as its main bad guy. That's kind of wild, right? Do you think that they just felt safe using that idea because the Transformers comics were also published by Marvel?
Well, I mean, they're not going to get caught for it.
Because yeah, it's obviously Galactus. Like that's all it is. It's just a big old planet transformer that floats around eating other planets. Apparently, mostly metal planets populated by robots, of which there are many apparently in our in our galaxy. So yeah, I don't know if Michael Bay's version is straying any further from the source material than this one is.
No, I mean, honestly, if I look at it, I can be mad at this movie. I can be very mad at it.
Looks like we're gonna have to take a short break. And when I honestly don't have that many specific things to say about this, but we should come back and talk about what we can learn from Transformers the movie,
And
in
what we
terms
can
of
wrap.
our assault on the franchise.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure that there's something we can do there. So I guess I'll see you in a minute.
I'll be back. God, I've got the hiccups and it's really annoying. Welcome back to Fuck Michael Bay. He's a huge piece of shit. Ruined my childhood. And yet...
But not well enough.
No, he never hit it too hard. He should have done worse. Let's get him. Let's drag this ass. Fuck him.
But I gotta admit, this movie has kind of a good start.
It's got a great start and it's got a great end. But the middle garbage here, let's just revisit the Autobots getting attacked in Autobot City was really great.
That was good. That was cool. I liked it.
Then there was a Weird Al song. And then we're at the end of the movie. So the rest of it doesn't really need to get talked about.
It doesn't, none of it really goes anywhere. The whole thing is chasing after this this MacGuffin that we never knew about before, so it's hard to get really concerned about it now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an attempt to be a coming of age story. You're absolutely right about that. The problem there is we need to be invested in that story for it to really matter. And we don't know Hot Rod, and we're just sort of told that we're supposed to care that we're following him. Right? This should be Bumblebee's story, right? Like,
It should be, but Bumblebee doesn't matter. And we also don't have John Bender being like, these are the cigar burns on my arm. We've got him being like, hey, I fucked up. Maybe I killed Optimus Prime a little bit on accident when trying to save his butt.
it was not it was not a story that was easy to care about. And killing off Megatron and replacing him with someone who is like sort of almost Megatron, that was yeah, okay. I mean, it's cool to like I was all on board with Robot Spock, but I don't really, I wanted some of my guys that I already gave a shit about before I came into this.
We off
And
them.
that's something that we can take away as a lesson, as a successful tactic for potentially ruining a story, is to come up with a good solid idea for a story and then give it to absolutely the wrong person.
Yeah.
And that's a tried and true method for making some shit that people don't care about. And I think that we would be fools not to think about it.
There is the issue. What happened here was we brought everybody into the same room and we said, not every one of you is getting out of here. Who wants to die? And a lot of them were like, me. And Optimus was like, one shall stand and one shall. Oh, fuck me. I have to die and this ass gets to continue on? Oh, all right. Well, I did what was best for. Oh, you dipshit. Why'd you get in my way? Oh, fuck me. You know, Optimus Prime, God, he was good. The rest of them were a bunch. I mean, Cup should have fucking put a goddamn piece of. What was it? There was a spike of rock. He should have stuffed one of those in a hot rod. Been like, no, kid, don't. That's Prime's fight. He already said that's Prime's fight. You should have fucking offed him. Not to be unfair, because I mean, Rodimus Prime's great later on, but fuck that kid. That dumb shit.
No, Rodimus Prime.
I always knew you had potential, kid.
This is my boss, Jonathan Hart, a self-made millionaire. This is Mrs. H. She's gorgeous. This is one lady who really knows how to take care of herself. God, I love that guy.
Good stuff.
There's a great cast in this movie that does not deserve such a great cast.
It doesn't.
I did notice that the taking on the matrix of leadership has this nice environmentally destructive force, sort of like a Time Lord regenerating, where like just there's beams of force flying everywhere, just shit starts bursting through proximity and transformer magic.
But here's the best part. We don't even have to talk about the actual occurrences of the movie between Optimus Prime dying and the end, because none of that shit mattered. Optimus Prime dies. He drops the Matrix. Hot Rod catches it and was like, oh, obviously this is for me, but I'll hand it off to you.
Right.
Guy who's gonna die. And then we get to the end of the movie where Galvatron's like, I've got the thing that you're terrified of. And then he shows up, Hot Rod does, and he's like, hey, by the way, that shit's mine.
Well, he touched it first.
And then he gets it. And then it's everything leads up to that. Like, he's getting choked out like a little bitch. Like, obviously, Galvatron's like, oh, I already choked your daddy. And then he's
And
like,
I mean, Transformers are famously vulnerable to having their windpipes crushed.
yeah, I mean, choking. It's Megatron slash Galvatron's thing. I'm gonna choke you out.
I'm not sure how that's supposed to stop the Transformers. I mean, I guess if he just meant to like squeeze him until his fists came together and the head just popped off, because I assume that there's some sort of thing that would happen if you separated the head. It's a fucking Transformer. Like, why would that do anything?
If you have to ask that question, why are you here? I mean, for reals.
What if we have a character in our movie that constantly asks those annoying questions on screen all the time?
Matt,
Why is that guy just crushing the other guy's throat? He doesn't have to breathe. He's a robot.
Matt, when we have our movie, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be glory.
Here's the thing. This movie has a lot of faults, and it is not terribly satisfying as a Transformers movie after I've been watching episodes of Transformers. But I would absolutely watch this movie again. Like, that would be fine with me. Like, I wouldn't sit there and give it my full attention like tomorrow, but like I would throw this on while I'm working on a project or whatever. Like, it's pleasant enough. It's got some cool scenes in it. It's got a great voice cast. It's got a great soundtrack. I would look forward to that. Are you and me recording these episodes was delayed by a week. I checked out that Shia LaBeouf movie from the library too early because we got delayed. I still have it, still haven't watched it, really don't want to watch it, not looking forward to it at all. I'm sort of low-key terrified and self-conscious that the people at the library think I'm really into it because I've kept it for way too long.
Stop
And I
caring
want to
about other
explain
people.
myself when I bring it back. I want to be like, there's a really good reason why I've had this so long. I promise I only watched it once, guys. Only once.
Stop caring about their opinions. They don't matter.
I like the people from the library. I see them all the time.
Don't
I
care
know them
about
by
their
name.
opinions.
No, they're the library. They check out way worse shit than this to other people. It's fine, but I'm just saying, even though they are both terrible Transformers movies, this one is way better. And something about like Michael Bay tapped into something primal where, like, even though I only watched his movie once many years ago, I am like just dreading having to do it again. And that's amazing. Like, and I want to unlock the key to how he has put me off of that movie so hard that like I like it's like going into the dark. There's just like this primal like, oh, I don't want to do that. There's here there be dragons.
Here's the thing for me. Transformers isn't always right. It isn't always good. It's always
Oh
about
no.
giant fucking robots. Giant fucking robots that might be cars at certain times. And it's great. They love you or they're evil. But what Michael Bay did was he took this beautiful concept of giant fucking robots that might be from now or billions of years ago. And he turned them into asteroids that came from now.
Did they?
Yep.
I don't remember.
Oh, Matt, I've only seen the movie twice.
That's 100% more than I've seen it.
Well, I watched it because it came out and I was like, yeah, oh, fuck.
Yeah. See,
And then
that's
I
the time
showed it to
that
the
I saw it.
kids. Yeah, I showed it to my kids and I was like, hey, giant robots is always cool. Oh, shit. They're still pissing oil on people because he's a Europhiliac.
Pacific Rim was a way better version of giant robots, and they weren't even proper robots.
Charlie Day.
He was so fun in that.
You can't stop Charlie Day. Giant robots. He and I, eye to eye.
I need to watch that movie again. You know what? I think that, okay, I could be wrong about this, but I think the last time I was at our mother's house, like however many years ago that was, I think I might have stolen a copy of Pacific Rim.
I would be impressed if mom had it. But hey,
Yeah, and I feel like it was sort of like a, you won't be needing this. Because I was taking back some stuff that I had loaned her that she obviously was just, she didn't give a shit and she was never going to get to it. And I was like, all right, I'm taking this back. And I'm taking this too.
I tried to get Alden to watch Bulworth. Not like it was a good movie or anything.
I
But I
remember
thought,
liking that a long time ago, that time that I saw it.
yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought that he might watch it and want to communicate to me about politics.
Okay,
Because
yeah, that's valid.
politics is what he likes to jabber on about. And so I thought that when I bought him that for Christmas one year, that maybe we'd talk about anything because we don't have much to communicate about. That sure didn't work. And I kept being like, hey, watch that movie I got you? I've
Has
tried.
has he ever watched a movie?
Have did you ever hear about his experience as a child with Halloween?
I don't know. I know that he seems to have no patience for Halloween, but
He never dressed up for Halloween. He
is
didn't
it
get it.
it's because he has no joy in his heart.
Or room for others and others' opinions and feelings and thoughts and things.
No, there's I feel like there's never been any concept of play with that man. And
Yeah.
and therefore I have no way to relate to him.
Yeah, it's disappointment abounds with them.
Yeah, it's it's really weird. I just don't get it. That's like kind of like that's like the only thing I care about.
love and fun, enjoy life.
Like,
You
yeah,
can't
right?
appreciate love and fun and enjoying life.
Yeah, like literally the reason that I'm no contact with them is because they are advocating to have them take away my rights to all of those things.
Well, Matt, you're gay.
I
Didn't
know,
you
which
get that
means that
part?
being gay means that everything that I do is inherently sexual and inappropriate.
You fucked up.
Because a gay person is doing it, and that's only a sexual identity.
It's
Obviously.
really, yeah, their ability to attract offense is really offensive. I I I had I had bosses that I worked for once who were upset because they were being targeted for being
By the people they
white.
bullied.
Yeah, they were being targeted for being white and Christian.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And that was really bad for them.
And what was really happening that they
They
interpreted in this.
hated homeless people and their business had rocks thrown at it.
Mm,
They also stole tips from their employees when they
I would
got
have
mad
thrown
at their
rocks at them.
employees. Yeah, when they got mad at their employees, they stole the tips out of the tip jar and told them that they were doing bad things. They were terrible.
That, yeah, that's I mean, well, that's proof of how Christian they are.
Oh yes,
So
they
that so
super didn't follow
suddenly their
Jeeber's rules.
claims seem to have a little more merit than I thought before. Uh, that was a tangent.
Hey,
I think
Transformers
that
more than meets the eye.
maybe we should highly politicize the Transformers for our own ends.
I'm pretty sure that based on the logo stamped on our chests, we know.
It's kind of weird that do you remember there was a line of Transformer, maybe they started doing this with all of them, where like the actual logo on the toy was like, because they're the same silhouette, like the general shape was just black, and then you would like touch it with your finger and your body heat would make the actual logo appear. um I don't understand how that works canonically, because aren't all the don't the Autobots know other Autobots? Like, aren't they sort of fundamentally Autobot? Like, that seems weird that they wouldn't know. And if it's that simple, why don't they just wear a fake logo? Like the fucking star-bellied Sneeches. Like, it doesn't seem like it should be a really important part of their actual identity, the logo.
The second or third Michael Bay Garbage Festival, uh, they go and meet up with a stealth bomber that is a Decepticon who like has been on Earth for so long that he's like forgotten that he's a robot and hasn't been a robot for a long time. Just apparently is fucking bomber from the
Wait, is it
80s.
Jetfire?
I don't know. He turns into some fucking dipshit with a Scottish accent and a cane. And he's like, hey, I'm a
That sounds terrible.
Decepticon.
But I think that actually
Use my
is.
parts. And he like rips out his chest cavity
Ew.
and falls down and is like, here, you can fly with my bits, Optimus Prime. It was all
Oh
garbage.
no.
All garbage. Anyway, I lost why I was going down this path.
Something about the Decepticon logos is where we started. But the
Yeah.
character you're describing, I think, is actually based on a character from the original comics and series, named Jetfire, or he actually has a
No, I'm
different name
pretty
in the
sure it was
comics.
old Greg.
Old Greg. He actually was a Decepticon who became an Autobot, which is sort of a unique
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was old
situation.
Greg.
We might have been Old Greg. We should have him on the show.
We should.
Do you think
I
that
mean,
Noel Fielding would visit us? He was no, he was a friend of Starscream's originally.
old Greg?
Yeah, back on Cybertron. And they had scouted Earth a long time ago, and he got basically frozen in the ice here, and Starscream couldn't find him. And then millions of years later, they by chance all got frozen on the same planet and then found each other again. And then he became a nice guy and thought that the Decepticons had lost their way and joined the Autobots. But he did not transform into this stupid alt form that you're describing. Yeah, they're such shit. That one that I watched part of, the Extinction one, had some of those too, where it was like characters that are from the cartoon who are fucking so not from the cartoon. I am not looking forward to this other movie. What if it's so bad that we have to concede? Like, what if we can't make a worse one? We've got to be able to, right? There's got to be a way.
We have so with this film, the end of the movie where we've got Hot Rod getting choked out because you can choke a robot. Remember,
Go choke
Matt,
a robot.
you can choke a robot.
Oh, go hang a salami. I'm a lasagna hog.
We're choking robots here. You can do whatever you want.
Somebody choked my robot just off camera here, and I lost some oxygen to my brain.
We all been there. So we're choking a robot at the end of this movie, and somehow, with a chain around the neck, Galvatron, a hot rod, like, opens the Autobot matrix, and it's like, he got it. It's the end of the line, Megatron. And John Bender from the Breakfast Club shows
and the
up,
dark backward.
and he didn't even have Molly Ringwald. It's bullshit.
You know what he also didn't have? An opening in his chest to put that fucking matrix of leadership in. So they quickly cut away so they don't have to show how that worked.
Bullshit. So yeah, and they really fucked this up in a few ways. If we really want to think about it, they didn't do it right. Molly Ringwald wasn't even in this. Hey, when we want to fuck this movie our own selves, let's put Molly Ringwald in it.
She could be a
Ted.
an actual like
Ted
Molly
Farmer.
Ringwald, the actress, could herself be a transformer.
She could, and Ted Farmer.
Is she a Cylon now?
I don't know. I haven't seen her in anything in forever.
Is it a crossover?
We can bring it. Let's do it. I mean, seriously, if we're gonna fuck this thing, let's bring all cards to the table.
It's all the franchises all at once.
Yeah.
Well, no, we have to do our straight up worst Transformers movie on its own first, and then we can cross over our other worst franchises.
No. We're bringing Ted Farmer in.
No, we got to do it the way Man of Steel did. So we have our standalone film introducing Superman, or here our standalone Transformers, and then the sequel You just try to cram everything in the goddamn world into it for no reason.
Oh, I was bringing it all to the table at once. I mean, I was jumping right into Edward Scissorhands.
The problem is that I don't want to be accused of making the worst Transformers movie by just not making a Transformers movie.
Okay, but jumping right into Edward Scissorhands, why wouldn't we?
What if, okay, how about if the standalone Transformers movie is itself a sequel to a giant, ridiculous crossover movie that doesn't have any of those other characters in it, but relies on the audience's knowledge of everything that happened. But we don't actually make that movie. We just build our world on it and insist that they know the backstory.
That works with Edward Scissorhands and the whole curmudgeonly bit with Winona Ryder. We could work on that.
I think that's a really plausible way of doing it.
I think that could work.
Yeah, it's sort of the same thing, but just reversed a little bit.
A little backwards, forwards.
But yeah, so well, that's because I think we need to, when we watch this Michael Bay movie, like we need to know sort of what we're watching. I need sort of a checklist of things to look for so that I can well, first of all, pay attention. And second of all, survive the experience. It's really fucking hard. Like I fell asleep at least 3 times when I tried to watch that Extinction one. It was so boring. Like, how is that much action so boring? It's really boring. So we need to figure out like what are we looking for here? And I think I definitely would love to unlock the secret of why it is that like 15 years later I still just dread having to watch this again, even though I really don't remember any of it. I just don't, I just hate it. I just don't want to do it. It's gonna suck. So let's find that. And I think we've done a pretty good job of focusing on the original cartoons. And like at least like I have an idea going in of what is essential Transformers to me. And I want to see how Michael Bay specifically fucks those ideas. So that I can figure out how to do each one of those, a little more. And is there what are you gonna carry with you into this Michael Bay experience for next time?
All right. So with this particular movie that we watched and are barely discussing today, what I have from this and I take away is we have the need to destroy what it was that we already had and cared for.
Yes, which is an actual goal of this movie.
Yeah.
Because they want to sell the toys.
Yeah, and we have to kill the old toy to bring out the new toy.
Right.
We needed to kill Optimus Prime. We didn't need to make Rodimus.
No, we didn't.
We could have avoided that entirely. We also didn't need to create the other toys that were also not good and hard to transform. They were not hands-on toys for fun. They fucked that up. They fucked that up real good. They don't shift and play like the other ones used to.
See, I never really had any of the post-movie toys to check out. Like I remember seeing some of them.
Fuck them all to death. They don't matter. They're bad.
Not good, huh?
No.
Well, see, and that is because this is coming after 2 seasons and many episodes of the show. This movie has a unique opportunity to fuck the Transformers by not following through on character development or by ignoring character development and replacing them with new characters. That's something that's not as easy for a standalone film or the first film in a franchise like the Michael Bay movie to do, because it doesn't have all of that goodwill and established character development to build on. So we're going to have to find new bad ways of treating the franchise, because that's not something that we're going to be able to do in a standalone movie, unless you want to literally just go with assuming that our audience knows the cartoon and just like live action kill off all of the recognizable Transformers before the credits, and then have the entire movie consist of Transformers that nobody has ever heard of.
And in fact, they brought Optimus Prime back from the dead later. It's
and I'm looking forward to seeing how that works and whether or not I care about it when it happens. Because like I said, I'm only, I'm only maybe 10 episodes into season 2, which is way before the movie happens. So I just don't know that I'm going to care about what's going on in the series post movie, even when it comes to bringing Optimus Prime back, because it's still like, I know they're going to be dicking around with the whole expanded world that they did in the movie, and I'm like, I don't care about the Junkions, and I know I'm going to have to see them again,
It becomes such a big mess.
Well, and I'm sure that nobody bought the toys, and that's why it all kind of fizzled out, in practical terms. But yeah, I think that this movie actually does a much better job of ruining the Transformers than I expected it to do. And it does it mostly unintentionally and for somewhat cynical reasons. But it's still got some interesting stuff going for it. And it charms me in many places. So I can't hate it as much as I need to for the movie that we're talking about, our ideal film. But good try.
This movie is beautiful. It makes me cry 2 times every time. As much as I know that it's bad, I can't help it. It's sweet, it's kind. Destroying Optimus Prime, he was a good man.
Well, and that is an amazing thing to think about, is like that is like such a touchstone for a lot of kids from that era of seeing Optimus Prime die. That was like the first sort of on-screen beloved character death that a lot of people experienced, and like it is completely sensible that continues to resonate. And it's a beautifully animated sequence, and there's still pathos to it, even though the whole Matrix thing is kind of dumb. But a lot of that is also down to Peter Cullen's performance. Like his Prime voice is so, like, that baritone is so soothing, and it's authoritative without being like command. Like you want to help. Like it's avuncular. It's very friendly, and you trust him, and that's just down to like he's just got a great voice for that.
And that's also why when we've got Judd Nelson coming in with his childish voice at the end, when he does pick up the mantle, as it does have to be, when he does that, we see our childish selves in that voice. it's the end of the line, Galvatron. He picks himself up and says, I'm not going to allow it. And as bullshit as it is, the child in me sees that and it's like, I can do it too. I could.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's exactly what that should be. And the only problem I have with that story arc is that it should be a character that we already love. The Autobot that someday rises from the ranks to assume the matrix of leadership and fight us in our darkest hour should be someone we love already. And that's really the only issue I have with that. That's a huge swerve. And like I said, it should have been Bumblebee, maybe someone else. Like Bumblebee's the obvious choice, but also his relationship was mostly with Spike, and this was about Danny, so blah blah blah. But yeah, it's just there's some good shit, and it fucks up a lot of the time too. So we just need to eliminate the good shit, figure out how to destroy all of the goodwill that we might have built in to the franchise, and oh god, I guess when we come back, we're gonna be talking about Michael Bay, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you. I'm sorry to our listeners.
I love this movie. It's got its problems, but god damn it, when you stand up and you say it's the end of the line, Megatron or Galvatron, whatever.
This is the end of the road, Galvatron.
I don't fucking care. There was a bit of beauty, even if it wasn't worthwhile.
Agreed. We can agree on that. Absolutely. Oh, are you gonna make it? Are we gonna make it to next time?
We're gonna do our best.
I love you, Ted.
I love you,
so
Matt.
Sorry.
We're gonna wash this flaming pile of dog shit.
Tears our family apart.
Hey, there's a lot of tearing anyway. We're getting there.
Buckle up for the Bayhem.
All right. I'll watch this movie for you.
Depot Devoid is hosted by Matt Fagan and Ted Fagan. Depot Devoid is not hosted by Ian Fagan because he died and we miss him. Reach us at depotdevoidpodcast@gmail.com.